For the second year in a row, students can expect to see months-long delays for their federal student aid application. I'm Samantha Walker, and I spoke with local students to see how these delays impact them. We'll have that story coming up.
Plus, 2 Joplin firefighters suffer heat-related illness while battling this house fire, and the Pittsburgh community gets ready to paint the town red.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
For the second year in a row, parents and students can expect to see a delay for the free application for federal student aid form, better known as FAFSA. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The current FAFSA opened in December of last year, causing concerns in form completion, aid reports, and award packages among students and colleges. KOAM Samantha Walker spoke with students at MSSU to learn how they're handling the continuing delays.
It was so close to college that from college starting that I was just eager to get that information back.
The U.S. Department of Education has announced that the FAFSA form for the 2025-2026 school year will be open to students 2 months later than usual. This is the second year for FAFSA delays, which comes after the FAFSA Simplification Act in 2020 caused an overhaul of the previous federal aid system. The months-long delays caused lots of anxieties for new students. For Bella, an MSSU freshman, she received her tuition bill before even knowing how much aid she might get. She said the delays made her contemplate college altogether.
I was just really stressed out. I considered not going, but I feel like it's better that I did, and I'm glad that I did get the aid that I needed. But I definitely was really anxious for a long time, and yeah, it made my skin and everything flare up. I was just anxious.
For freshman students that I spoke with, they say it was frustrating to not know how much aid they were going to receive until almost when the school year started. They say they're not looking forward to this year's delays.
Kind of worried, just because, it's a lot of money. So to be that delayed is kind of stressful, not knowing that amount, getting so close to when I have to start college and classes and everything.
Some students are even trying to look on the bright side of these delays because they know there is nothing they can do.
That can be very frustrating, but it also builds anticipation, and maybe it's more exciting for them when they finally figure it out.
The Missouri Southern Financial Aid Office says it's important that students know FAFSA is different from school scholarship applications. Students new and returning need to fill out those applications in the fall, regardless of any FAFSA delays. They say their office is open to help students as universities and students alike deal with these delays. Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The Financial Aid Department at MSSU recommends students fill out their FAFSA as soon as it becomes available. The priority deadline in Missouri is currently February 1st. Well, another hot one out there again today. Let's check in with Lindsay Gaffney.
Temperatures did get up to the upper 90s, and we're still going to remain hot until about 9 p.m. tonight. These heat advisories will continue until about 8 or 9, with heat indices remaining from about 103 to 106 still through the evening hours. We're mostly clear tonight. We did have a couple of isolated showers north of Chanute head towards Yates Center, but outside of that, we're looking good. A couple of storms just west of Wichita. We're not going to get any of those storms tonight. We're going to stay mostly clear. Temperatures by about midnight still in the low 80s. We're only dropping down to the upper 70s for overnight lows tonight, but currently still about 96 degrees out in the Joplin area and surrounding counties. Humidity is a little high, but lower than it has been this past week, so we did see a bit of a break from the very high heat indices. Now we also have a couple of rain chances in the forecast. We'll talk more about that coming up.
See you soon. The Missouri Propane Safety Commission is now helping in the investigation of an explosion that destroyed this house in Excelsior Springs, Missouri. The incident happened late Friday afternoon. That explosion killed the 2 residents along with their dog. The massive explosion could be felt and seen for many miles. The blast blew open the doors of nearby houses. No neighbors were hurt, although some did report damage to their homes. The Excelsior Springs Fire Department advises every homeowner to install a gas detector. We have an update on the health of 2 firefighters following last night's fire in East Joplin. Reports of the fire came in last night around 7:45 from a house at the intersection of 2nd and High Street. The flames had spread to nearby vehicles and a storage building, but was under control in about 30 minutes. No injuries were reported. 2 firefighters were reported transported to an area hospital for a heat-related illness. At the time, one was released, but the second was admitted for further observation and treatment. He has since been released. The Army-Kansas Library hopes to upgrade their building and fix some structural concerns. They faced a mold issue, and as a result of clearing it up, they're now figuring out how to fix their walls and sheetrock. While they received a grant, their repair costs were more than the grant amount. The library offers book clubs and internet to the community, and the city wants to improve the library for their guests.
The library is a good place that Brenda tries to make for senior citizens as well as kindergartners in holding different programs for different age groups.
The library director, Brenda Banks, who she was referring to, hopes to change the front door of the library to make it accessible for people with wheelchairs, along with other upgrades. City of Pittsburgh gets ready for its annual Paint the Town Red celebration. That event marks the first Gorilla home game of the season. It also gives businesses a chance to get in on the celebration by decorating their businesses with red and gold. In this case, it's one way for business owners to give something back.
Me and my husband are both alumni of Pitt State, and we own a local business, and we're on Broadway now, so we decided that we should support the community, and with being in the Paint the Town Red pep rally area, we thought it would be a great way to give back.
This year's theme is City of Champions. Nighttime drivers will soon encounter a familiar hazard. The return of deer season is coming up, and later, high school football kicks off soon. Brock Baldridge has a preview of Coffeyville's season in sports. Deer season's almost here. If you plan on driving, especially at night, well, we have a few tips to consider to keep you safe. Lonnie Walton has that story.
Deer mating season is almost here, and if you want to be safe on the roadways, look out.
Missouri's deer population is doing well. We have a little over 1 million deer in Missouri. That's a lot of deer. And Joplin is no different. Joplin's deer population is doing well too. So that means that one of the things we have to be on the lookout for is when we're driving for deer crossing the roads. The peak time for this activity is October and November, because that's when the deer mating season is.
Conservation agent Francis Gillespie says if you encounter a deer in the roadway, swerving to avoid hitting it is a bad idea.
One thing you don't want to do is try to veer away from the deer, because that'll do two things. Could lead you into oncoming traffic, or it could lead you off the road into a situation that's worse for your vehicle and possibly for you than if you hit the deer.
Business owner Terry Swims is enjoying deer season, but he takes extra precautions when driving at night.
And I drive slower at night than I do in the daytime. I don't want to hit one, I don't want to tear up my vehicle, and I don't want to kill the deer.
When possible, when you're driving at night, keep your lights on high beam. That way you have a longer field of vision.
Although deer can be a hazard for drivers, the majestic creatures remain an exciting sight for community members to enjoy.
The Department of Conservation says Missouri's hunting permits and regulations help to keep the deer population under control. A little bit later, area conservationists begin to hunt for a scaly invader in Joplin.
And we definitely are still going to be hot for the next couple days, but we've got cooler temperatures in the forecast. I'll have those details. It was still a really hot day today. Those temperatures continue for the first half of this work week. You can take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Clear skies. It's a really great looking evening. Unfortunately, those temperatures are just not cooperating, with temperatures still remaining in the upper 90s even through the rest of the evening. Until about 9 p.m., we still have those heat advisories that have been issued due to the heat indices remaining for about 103 to 106. So it's hot, it's humid. We luckily don't have any rain that's going to add to the humidity tonight, but we do have rain chances in the forecast. Just may not be as much as we need. Right now, drought conditions about moderate risk for just north of Nevada, Pittsburgh, Joplin, west of Monette, west of Independence and Coffeyville. The rest of us in more of those dry conditions, so not quite reaching drought level yet. But like I said, we do have rain chances for the first half of the week, maybe just a quarter of an inch of rain. But by the time we get some storms later on this week, we're going to see possibly up to an inch of rain. Not a ton, not as much as we want to see for those drought conditions. But until then, temperatures remain high and dew points remain upper 60s to low 70s. So that range, we're still seeing that sticky to muggy feeling outside. When you go out there, you can definitely feel the moisture outside. It's not so fun. Temperatures yesterday, though, got up to about 99, 100 in some areas. Today, we only reached about 97, 98, so not as high, and they do continue to drop slightly over the next couple of days. Overnight lows tonight dropping down to mid 70s, which is better. The last few days they've been upper 70s, low 80s. But out in Joplin tonight, 75, 73 in Parsons, 72 in Bella Vista. Couple of northerly showers early Tuesday morning about 7 a.m. may not make it into our area, but Yates Center may still get a few of those showers in the morning. Then later on in the evening, we've got another chance of some isolated storms. You can see a couple popping up just south of the main line of storms that's going through Kansas City. High temperatures for the day in the mid 90s, about 95, 96. Those storms do continue to shift a little further south later into the evening, closer to about 9 p.m. So Nevada, Stockton, maybe Fort Scott, maybe Yates Center may get some of those thunderstorms and showers. The rest of us are going to stay mostly dry through the overnight hours. An isolated shower may be making its way through Arkansas, Bella Vista, all the way up to about Joplin before dissipating. But outside of that, mostly dry. Temperatures do cool down slightly as we move into Wednesday night in the low 70s, which is definitely a change of pace. We've been seeing high overnight lows, not even dropping below 80 some of these nights. But looking forward to Thursday and Friday, storms roll in Thursday night pretty late around 10 p.m. Won't interrupt your daytime hours. It's still going to get pretty hot in the mid 90s. But as those storms pass early Friday morning, we're going to see a drop in temperatures. Thunderstorms continue for most of the day on Friday, may interrupt Friday night football plans. But for the rest of Labor Day weekend, temperatures remain in the mid 80s.
That looks pretty nice. And with the Gorillas' first home game coming up on Saturday?
Definitely. And Labor Day weekend, that's perfect temperatures for the weekend.
Can't argue with that. Lindsay, thanks. The Missouri Department of Conservation is tracking an invasive species of lizard in the Joplin area. Yeah, lizard. They're asking for people to let them know if they spot this lizard. It's called an Italian wall lizard, and you might find it in the Wildcat or Silver Creek Glades areas. The Italian wall lizards escaped from a Joplin area collector in the early 2000s. Now they're reproducing apparently. They're commonly seen in rocky habitats and on walls and building foundations.
A terrarium. He had a terrarium outside the lizards, and the cat knocked over his terrarium and the lizards escaped. That's the story we have. So since that, they have done well. We don't like non-native species here because they hurt the native species. We're fortunate in the sense of these Italian wall lizards. They really seem to be a downtown type of lizard. They love that city environment, the concrete, the sidewalks, the old buildings. They love that. So they're staying in a downtown municipal area. But nevertheless, we would like them gone.
If you're thinking, oh, hey, new pet, well, better slow down. As of this coming Friday, you could face misdemeanor charges for having one of these things. The penalty is up to a year in jail and a possible fine of up to $2,000. Still ahead, the Kansas City Chiefs sign a familiar face at the wide receiver position. And Missouri Southern football holds their first weekly news conference of the season. Brock Baldridge has that story and more coming up.
Get 25% off any order of $12 or more when you order and pay ahead in the McD app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Week 1 of the college football season is here. The Missouri Southern Lions travel to Midwestern State for their season opener on Thursday night. Well, this morning, the Lions hosted their first weekly press conference of the year.
I promise you, this football team has worked as hard as any football team that I've been a part of since I've been here. It's a group that has taken tremendous pride in getting better. It's a group that has come to work. Like I said, it's unmatched. There are a lot of guys with chips on their shoulders, a lot of guys that are out to prove something, a lot of guys that want to do something that's never been done at Missouri Southern, and we're excited to embark on that journey, and here we go.
We understand how to weather the storm, and our older guys understand what to preach and what to preach when, right? We've had instances in the past where, we've been young mentally, and I think we've grown a lot mentally, and that's going to be the best thing for us in a long season, especially in MIAA.
High school football practices continue around the 4 states. Our next stop features Field Kinley football in Coffeyville, Kansas, and the Golden Tornado aim for their 3rd straight winning season. Coffeyville has posted similar numbers in back-to-back seasons. Field Kinley went 5-3 in the regular season, ultimately finished with a 6-4 record in both 2022 and in 2023. The Golden Tornado brings back a heavy senior class along with one of the top offensive linemen in the state in Keaton Jones, who committed to Mizzou earlier this summer. We'll have practice footage and interviews from coaches and players later tonight. Stick around for that on KOAM News Now at 10. All the Kansas City Royals traveled to Cleveland for a day-night doubleheader. This is a makeup game from a rainout that happened back in early June. Kansas City has a good opportunity to make up some ground in the standings, going up against first-place Cleveland. Big series for the Royals, who are on the road taking on Cleveland. Kansas City is playing in 4 games in 72 hours, and, well, this is a good start. Royals beat the Guardians 4-3 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Bobby Witt Jr. and MJ Melendez each homer in this game. Lucas Ursig with the save. Game 2 happening right now. We'll have a final score update from that one later tonight at 10. St. Louis returns to Busch Stadium after the Cardinals are coming off a successful series in Minnesota. Both these teams are fighting for a playoff spot in the National League wildcard standings. First pitch for that is scheduled tonight at 6:45 p.m. In NFL news, the Kansas City Chiefs have signed wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster, who reunites with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And, well, if you remember from 2 years ago, Smith-Schuster played a vital role in the Chiefs' Super Bowl 57 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. Chiefs signed Smith-Schuster to a minimum contract, and he has roughly $7 million guaranteed from his deal from the New England Patriots, who he played for last season. Well, there's your look for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to hear more about the mold and structural issues facing the Arma, Kansas Library. Plus, how donating blood this Friday could score you a Chiefs tailgating package worth more than $1,200. And more schools are beginning to utilize artificial intelligence to improve student learning. Those stories, a lot more, of course, is coming up tonight at 9 on Fox 14. Hey, and to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, all you have to do is download the KOAM News app. You see the QR code. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well. Just search for the KOAM News app. It's hot out there, and it's going to stay hot a bit longer.
Unfortunately, that is the case. Temperatures remain in the mid to upper 90s for the next couple of days, all the way through Thursday. We've got a couple of chances of rain Tuesday evening for our northern counties. And then again, Thursday evening for all of us, we're going to have a cold front move through and a drop in temperatures.
Cold front. Doesn't that sound refreshing?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.